as we are doing some practical sessions today. So today we are doing some practical sessions of descriptive statistics, which we learned in this World Week. Actually, that first day we were discussing about the introduction to descriptive biostatistics, and then later we started with the descriptive statistics and probability. So yesterday we had seen that software SPSS, and today we thought of giving some practical sessions of this descriptive statistics, how to draw tables and graphs, and how to do analysis in SPSS and all. So shall we start now? Hope all of you can hear me properly. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So today we are starting with the basic concepts already we had discussed earlier, but that is what descriptive statistics. So as we all know, where we use descriptive statistics, descriptive statistics we use to describe the data or to summarize the data. For that, we had familiar with some common terms we use in statistics, which are population, sample, variable, data, and all. And along with this, we should know about the presentation of data also. The methods of presenting data are tabular presentation and graphical presentation. And according to the nature of the variables we including in our study, we may need to calculate the measures of center tendency and measures of dispersion also, which we already discussed. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are just seeing how these softwares will help us to process this data. So if we are going to do a study, the study will taken from our subject area itself. All of you will take a research study by your study area itself, and so you may know all the background of the study. You may have specific objectives, and you know how to write the introduction, and what literature review you have to do, and what are the methodologies you have to taken for conducting your study. For all those things you have a clear idea, but by coming to the statistics, how to manage your data to prove your objectives, many of you may get difficult, because this biostatistics may not be much familiar with you all, because in this research biostatistics be different from apart from your subject area. So we should know the some basic concepts of this data processing and all. And for doing the data processing, usually we are doing in the field of medicine, we are using mainly three softwares, which are Microsoft Excel, SPSS, and Microsoft Word. So with the help of these three softwares, we will be able to do the data analysis. So the data processing, the initial step of data processing is the data entry. So after collecting the data, we need to enter the data. So data entry will be do carefully, because if our data entry is not proper, our rest of all analysis, it may affect the rest of all analysis. So data entry should be do properly. That how to enter the data, we will see the sides and all, and I will show some practical sections also. So yesterday Radhika already told what are the main concerns we should follow work while doing a data entry. We don't manipulate the data, and we try to avoid the missing data and all. We should carry it out. And after entering the data, we should clean the data for analysis. That is, if we have any wrong entry or if any bias came while doing the entry, we need to recheck the data. And if it has more than, if it has much categories, we need to summarize the categories into 2, 3, or 4 like that. So like the data cleaning process also a big process that also we should do carefully. This data entry and data cleaning, both we can do in Microsoft Excel. So next one, third step is the analysis. After the data entry, we should clean the data. Then we can import the data into the SPSS software and we can conduct the analysis. Then after completing the analysis, we will have our outputs in the output window of SPSS, and we need to take the output from SPSS to Microsoft Excel again, and from there we can prepare our tables and graphs. From the SPSS itself, we can create some graphs and all. But if we have if we are doing drawing the graphs in SPSS, that graphs can make, if we want to do some changes in the graph, we have that software where we are doing the corrections. If we are doing the corrections later in another system, if that system doesn't have the SPSS software, it cannot be processed. So we are drawing tables and graphs in Microsoft Excel itself, so that we can access our results, and if we want some modifications in our results, we can do it in anywhere, because this Microsoft Word and Excel will be there in almost all the systems. Those are inbuilt softwares if we are doing either in a desktop or if we are doing in a laptop also. And after preparing these tables and graphs in Excel, we can copy that tables and graphs into Microsoft Word, and there we can write the result chapter, and we can properly, according to the objectives, we can properly arrange the results in Microsoft Excel, and we can write the interpretations also there. So such like this, we are using Microsoft Excel, SPSS, and Microsoft Word for the statistical analysis and result preparation. So once again, how do we process the data? First, we need to enter the data. Then we have to clean the data. Then we do those two steps we'll do in Microsoft Excel. And then we are analyzing the data using SPSS. And then again, we are coming to Excel to draw the tables and graphs. And finally, those interpretations and result chapter preparations we'll do in Microsoft Word. So this is simply an introduction to Microsoft Excel. It is a spreadsheet application software from Microsoft. It is an electronic spreadsheet program that can be used for storing, organizing, and manipulating data. And it is a very widely applied spreadsheet because it's very user-friendly, and many of the fields, not only in medical field or IT field, everywhere we are using Microsoft Excel for data entry, and much analysis also we can do in that. But for us, it's help us to do this kind of data entry and small analysis, like if we want to find some averages, or if we want to draw the graphs and all, we can seek the help of Microsoft Excel. This already we discussed that what are the features of Excel. It allows organization, tabulation, search, and exploration of data of large sizes. Data can be filtered and sorted. Formatting of spreadsheet allows changing the font color and font style. And a function library consists of various function groups like financial, logical, math, statistical, and trigonometry, etc. Based on the values entered in different cells in the spreadsheet, formulas can be defined with automatically perform calculations. So these all things we can show. I will show this an example while showing the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And for doing the statistical analysis, the major concerns of statistical data in Excel is proper data entry, filtering and coding the data. Then we can draw the tables and we can draw statistical graphs easily. And as we all know, Microsoft Word, it's also a word processor created by Microsoft. Word processor is a type of application software that is used to create all kind of text documents such as letters, reports, etc. So we can draw these tables and graphs in Word also. But if we want much modifications and more applications will be available in Microsoft Excel. So it's better to use Microsoft Excel for tables and graphs. If it is not found as easy, you can draw the tables and graphs in Word also. These are some uses of Microsoft Word. And I will show this Microsoft Excel. We will start with the software Microsoft Excel. So from the start icon, here I already have this Microsoft Excel. If we are double clicking on it, is it visible? This Word is visible?
No.
Sorry, Excel is visible?
No.
Okay, let me, please wait a moment. Now it's visible now?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. So this is the homepage of Microsoft Excel. So why we are using, why I am introducing this software is this, many of you may know this software already. But the fact is, some of you, at least, because it's why we are studying statistics this time, because it's very necessary to learn statistics to do your projects, your article works, or your thesis works. So after while learning the statistical process, many of you may not be knowing how to do your data entry properly and what all things can do in Excel and what all analysis we can make in Excel and all. So we may just think we can do this for only data entry and all. Not only for data entry, we can do many things in Excel, and Excel is a very useful software also. So as this is the home page, and these are the columns A, B, C, D, and these are the rows 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So this is the home ribbon, home wizard, and here we can change the format, font size. Font size here we can change like that. Much applications are there. As we have limited time, I am not going such basic details. And I just want to discuss how do we enter the data. So if you have a data with us, and if you want to enter the data in Excel, first we have to put the serial number, because all this, all the data, all the individuals in our study population should have a unique identification number. Then only we can, if we have any data set contains any issue, then only we can sort it out. So we should have a serial number for all data. Whatever the data, first column will be the serial number. And suppose if next column is name, and next column is age, then gender. Okay. Suppose these are the 4 variables which I have, and if I have suppose if I have a data of 10 patients with me, so that numbers, serial numbers, I should enter like 1, 2. Then if already my sample size is 10, so I can drag like this. I can drag like this. So automatically, if after 1 I enter 2. So Excel came to know that these cells are going like adding one unit from one cell to another. So that function will come for the rest of all all the cells, and so we can drag like this. And if I put the name as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Sorry, S, I, J. Okay. And coming to this age, randomly I'm giving some numbers like 23, 25, 31. Sorry. Suppose. And this gender, I written it as male, again male, female, female. So suppose this is my data. And while entering the data, we should know that each column consists of the full details of each variable. Suppose this name, that one variable is name. So this column B consists of all names. All the details of that particular variable in that data will be there in that single column. Suppose all age will be there in the column C. All gender will be there in column D. Like that, each row consists of the full complete information of each individual. That first row, that is number 2, row number 2 shows all the informations of into patient 1 in the study will be there in the first row. So each row consists of complete information of each individual, and each column consists of the complete information of each variable. So it should be like this. And suppose if we have 2 groups, like first 5 will belongs to one group and second last 5 in the group, another group. And while doing such kind of data entry, like if in our study, if we have more than 2 groups, usually many of us will do like we may enter the data in separate sheets. Actually, in that below we have seen, we can see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. Usually we may enter the data in separate sheets and we may rename the sheet names like group A. Here we may rewrite like group A, here may it is group B, like that. So that's not the proper method of data entry. For statistical analysis, we should have the data in the single sheet. That will be more easy for the analysis. Otherwise, if we want to compare the data or for comparison of 2 groups and all, we have to combine the data into a single sheet. So we can, if we are doing the data entry in the same sheet itself, we can save the time and effort. So if suppose if we have 2 group, we can do like this. If I am going to insert one more column here. For that, I did what I did is I show that if our data is like that. So I want to insert one more column between A and B. So that I selected column B and I put Control plus in the keyboard. Then one more column came here. Actually, we have much shortcuts. We can use many shortcuts here in Excel. So otherwise, we can do one thing, that is if we are selecting this column and we simply put right click and put insert. So that column will came and I named it as group. So this is the data of 2 groups. First 5 is group 1 and last 5 is group 2. Like that, we can enter the data. If it is more confusing and if you have more variables, and then we can do like we can keep 2 or 3 cells blank here, and we can start if we want to enter the data of cases and controls. So if you are coding like this, you may forget the code later. So if you have any concern about such kind of things, you can do one thing. You can insert one column here, row here, and here we can write it as cases. Okay, then you can merge this cell also like this. This is the set of cases. And these are the data of controls. Like this also we can enter the data. But for analysis, if our data consists of merged cells and if our data is like this, we cannot do analysis in SPSS. So SPSS won't take us. Radhika already told us today. SPSS have some specifications. It won't allow spaces. It won't allow merged cells and all. So if we are entering the data like this, we need to clean the data. That is what I said in the initial slide, data cleaning. So we need to clean the data, and we should compile the data which I entered in the before, like this. So if our data is like this, we can import the data into SPSS directly. Then one more thing, if you want to do a pre-test post-test study, if you have pre-post result, that also you should enter in the same data sets itself. You can specify the variable names. If it is pre, you can pre-test score. Then if you have one post-test point, then you can write post-test score. If we have more than one post-op time point, then you can give some specifications for the identification of that and a post-op time points, like post-op time point 1, PST2, like that. So it's better PST1, PST2, like that. So what I'm trying to say is you should enter the data in the single sets itself, say single cell itself. So this is one thing. And for coming to the cleaning of data, if I enter here, the data is like one is capital letter M, and if one is small letter m. And here also, some letters are like capital letter F, some are for small letter f. If we enter the data like this, while we import the data into SPSS, and if we do analysis, SPSS will show capital M separately, capital F separately, small f and small m and small f also. So SPSS will show 4 categories. Actually, we have only 2 categories. So that entry of data entry should be categorical. Naming of the variable should be unique. So that should be there. Otherwise, we will get some bias results. Actually, it may be we have to reset it again that time. So while entering itself, you need to check all these things. And next thing, what we can do is if we have you can do coding in Excel also. That data coding, if we are doing if we are entering the data for statistical analysis, it's better to enter the data with the numerical codes. Then it is more easy to do the analysis. So from actually many of us may be concerned about the accuracy of the data. So if we enter some codes and all, as I told earlier, you may forget. So we usually what we do is we enter the exact data which we collected in our data sheet. So we may enter like male, female, like that, all letters. So that data we can keep in a sheet, and we need for the analysis. Then such cases we need to take the copy of this data, and we need to paste it in another sheet, and there we can give some specification, that is data for analysis. Like that we can give any specifications up to you. And there we need to do this merging, and there should be, for the analysis data, there should not be any merged cells, and that entry should be unique, and if possible give numerical code to the response of each variable. How do we do coding in Excel is for that we have one option which is sort and filter. Suppose if here I have males and females. So I want to put the code male as 1 and female as 2. So what I can do is I can select this column. Then I need to go to sort and filter. And if I put filter, this drop down icon will come here. And if I click here, I can see that that cell consists of two category. One is male and another is female. So I untick this and I want to find the males, all males in the data set. So I only tick the M and put OK. Then I saw this like this. Then I put 1 for male. And here you can see this from this corner, that cursor will come like a plus. And here if we double click the icon, all rest of all cells becomes becomes 1. Okay. So next is female. Female I want to record as 2. So here also from F I put 2 and I double click. And if I select both 1 and 2, it will come like this. So like that, we can record the data in Excel itself. This same thing we can do in SPSS also. So these are the basic things we need to do in Excel for data entry. So first, just once again, I'm repeating, the first column should be the serial number. All the subjects should have the serial number. And if we have more than one group, we should we enter the data in the same sheet, and we can give the one more cell which is called the group to specify the groups. And next we can enter the, if we have more than one poster points and all, we need to do the data entry in the same page itself. And if we have to do the coding in Excel itself, we have the option sort and filter. Okay. Then one more thing, we can use some mathematical function also here. Here the age is a continuous variable, right? So here age, so if as age is a continuous variable, we can present the mean and standard deviation of age also. So how do we analyze mean and standard deviation in Excel? Which is that here we can select the last cell of this data. So here we need to go for that fx. Fx is a function, option of function. If we select, click the fx, we may get some options. So here we have financial, mathematical, statistical, logical, many options will be there. So we need to take the statistical operations. For that we need average, click OK. Then this box will come, this shows the area. We can specify the area of data set which we want to get the average. Here already it's automatically taken D2 to D11. The column D, row 2, that is called D2, and column D, row 11. So D2 to D11 we are taking the average. Put OK. That average came as 27.3. So these are the basic things we can do with the Excel. Here I have our data. Okay. This is the data which I entered properly for the analysis of, I collected this data to assess the validity of self-reported height and weight and factors associated with errors in self-reports. So for that, what I did is I had collected the data of the demographic parameters I considered are the name, age, gender, education, and I asked them their height, weight, and I analyzed the BMI. Then I measured the actual height and weight again. Then I analyzed the BMI accordingly. Then I asked for their diabetes status, hypertension status, and do they have any heart diseases. So this is a data which I collected to analyze the validity of self-reported height and weight. So here, if we have only height and weight, So as we discussed earlier, you can see that we are entering the data properly. Like if we suppose we can check the sort and filter. Only two categories will be there, male and female. All the data entry will be like first letter will be capital and the second letter will be, and other letters will be in small letters like that. Here also unique coding was done. So we can actually this sort and filter we can use to see what all categories are there in each cell. For that purpose also we can do this filtering just for an awareness of the categories of our data. Okay. So suppose here we have the BMI, right? BMI we are from where we are getting the BMI? From height and weight we are calculating the BMI. So by while doing the data collection, I have collected their height and weight, and later I calculated the BMI. So how do we calculate BMI? For calculation of BMI, what is the formula? Weight in kilogram by height in meter square. So that we can do very easily in Excel. How do we do that? Here, I'm just showing how to do that in Excel. Here we are inserting one more cell for the analysis. For that, I have already weight in kilogram and here height in centimeter. So I need to change the height in centimeter into meter square. For that, I have inserted one more column, and to convert that centimeter into meter square, I am doing the analysis, which is equal to that particular height divided by 100. What I did is, once I will show you once again. Here we have inserted one more column and put an equal to sign. And how do we convert centimeter to meter square? We can divide the centimeter divided by 100. So what I'm doing is here I put an equal sign and select this height, and I need to divide that height by 100. Then put enter. It came as 1.5, and I put if I apply this function to that first cell, if I create like this, all the rest of the data will come as in the same way. Okay, then I need to find the BMI now. For that, I can do like this, equal to 57. Weight in kilogram divided by, this is height in meter. So I need to put it as meter square. For that, I need to multiply this meter again. So this cell number into again this one. Enter. So it came as 25.5 times 3. Actually, it came as with the 5 decimal points. So this is same, like we can check it, 25.33, 25.33, 35.01, 35.01. We can randomly check whether it is correct or not. For that, we can randomly select some cells and we can check it. So here we have that 25.33, which is calculated from a mathematical function, statistical functions we have applied. So if we select this data, this cell, we can see here that what that cell contains, which is 25.33. Suppose if we select this cell, it came as like H2 by G2 into G2, because here we applied some function. So how do we do this? How can we convert this into a number? Because it is in the form of a function, and how we need to convert this into a number. And why do we do that is, suppose if we are copying this cell into somewhere else, it will come like this. If I think many have entered this issue maybe before. Those who did the analysis by yourself may saw this like this. So like this. It's just because here this 25.33 came from these two cells. So this 25 can't copy paste anywhere else, as these two cells should be there before. So what we can do is we can select this all column, Control C, we can copy this and we can paste it here as paste special, and we can paste it as values. So if we are copying and pasting it as values, it will come like the number itself. So now if we are selecting this cell, we can see like 25.33. And here we have 5 decimal points. So if we, it looks a little bit more, no? So we can convert this into within 2 decimal points. So one way we can do is we can do reduce the decimal points like this. If we are here, one option is there. Here we can reduce the cell size, but even if we are doing like this, it will see in that cell only. If we select this cell, that actual value is still, it is there in more than 5 decimal points. So what we can do is we can insert one more column here and put a round function for that, which is equal to round, and select that column which we want to reduce the decimal point, and then put a comma and enter the number of decimal points you need. So I need only 2 decimal points, then put enter. Now it became 25.33. Here also we applied a function, so we need to copy and paste as values here, put OK. Now we can delete all other columns which we had inserted for creating this BMI. As you all are hearing this first, if anyone is hearing it, seeing this first time, you may feel like there are much steps, but actually while we do this manually, it will take much time, and if we are used with this kind of shortcuts in Excel, it will be more easy. And at the time of presentation, we may not be get all idea completely, but at least you should know that we can do this kind of analysis with the help of Excel more easily. So that is what I want to tell you, that we can do this kind of small analysis very easily in Excel. And if we are searching in Google also, if you want to do something in Excel, you just want to search in, you just try to search in Google also. There also we have much lectures for this kind of shortcuts. Okay. So an overall picture I will give once again. We should have a serial number, and we should enter the data properly, and all data should have a unique format. And if you have some, if we are applying some functions, you need to copy paste with as values, copy paste as values, and do. So while doing a data entry for analysis, for an statistical analysis, this data cleaning and data entry will take more time. Actually, for statistical analysis, we won't need much time, as we know the method of analysis, like what analysis I have to do. If I know that, it won't take much time to do analysis in SPSS. But for preparing data for analysis is a big process. We need to do each and everything properly, like the data entry, data cleaning, everything. So I have completed the data entry and data cleaning here, and I'm going to close this. If you have any questions, you can ask now itself regarding the data entry, and if you have any doubts or concerns, please ask. Any queries? Okay. I hope we will discuss in the later. Okay. Then next, what I'm going to do is I will show the analysis of. I am introducing the software SPSS. So this is the SPSS software. Actually, we have two windows. One is data view and one is variable view. This yesterday we already saw the software and how to enter the data in spaces and all we already had discussed. So actually now we have a data in Excel and we need to do analyze the data in SPSS. So for how to import the from a data, import the data in Excel to SPSS. That is what we are going to see. Here we have an icon of folder. Here we have we can see a folder icon. You just click there. One message tab will come like this. So here we can see that message. What is there? Look in. So this SPSS is asking where is our data, from where we want to import the file. So I had kept this data in desktop. Desktop, I had one folder today. In that, what file type I want to import? I want to import an Excel file. So I click that data file and I click open. Then this I had the data in only one sheet, so I got a worksheet. I got only one option for worksheets, and if we have data in more than more than one sheet, it will here it will comes like sheet 1, sheet 2, etc. And from which sheet we want to take the data for analysis, we can choose that sheet. So here I have only one sheet, so I select sheet 1 and put OK. Okay. Thus, I got my data here. For those who didn't get the idea properly, I will show it once again. For that, I'm opening a new window. By simply clicking as Control N, we will get a new blank cell. That shortcut is applicable for all softwares like both Microsoft Word or Excel or SPSS. If we put Control N, a new blank cell can open. It's becoming slow. Please hold on. Don't know why it not came. Actually, for if you are giving control and while new data set usually came as a new data sheet, but it won't came now. So once again, I'm opening like this. Yeah. So if you want to open the imported Excel data in SPSS, you just leave here. Suppose we have a blank document like this, and if we want to import an Excel data, so we can choose this folder icon, and from this we should specify from where we have saved our data which we want to import to SPSS. So I kept my Excel sheet in today folder on a desktop. So I opened that folder today, and already this today folder doesn't contain any SPSS document because automatically here they had selected SPSS they are looking for in SPSS data, but I don't have any SPSS data file in my today folder. So I need to choose my file type, which is Excel, and I have a Excel data in folder today. So I click on it and I open my data. I had my data in the sheet 1 and I put OK, and my data came like this. Actually, they have some issues with my data, I think. Yeah, I can share it now. Actually, some technical issue came between the Excel and all. That's why this we are seeing some variable like this. So by the time I am removing all these unexpected files, so to get this basic knowledge to know the analysis. I think we have some issues. Can see the data now? Can see the data?
No.
No data.
No data. Okay. Let me check.
You may close it down, unsave it, and again you can open the screen. Maybe then it will
Yeah, I
come.
think so. Okay. Can you see the data now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so here we have a few data set like age, gender, variable, education, and two variables, height and weight. Okay, suppose here is the data. In the data view, we can see the complete data, and in the variable view, we can see the variable names. So here we need to cross-check the variable properties of this each variable, like age should be numerical, and the gender, here we entered gender as male, female. So characters are there, both in both the gender and education. We have some characters. So it will comes like the type of variable will be string. And for height and weight, that we have the numerical value. So the type of variable should be numerical. And how do we measure the scale? In which scale we are measuring the scale, measuring the variable. For name, we are not taking for analysis, so we can leave it there. And by coming to age is a continuous variable, and we should measure age in a scale. And the gender also, where gen is a qualitative variable, and that scale of measurement was nominal for gender. And for education, actually education, we have categories like illiterate, primary, secondary, college and above, like that. So here one category is greater or less than the other. So this variable will be an ordinal variable. So we need to change the type of measurement type of education as ordinal, and this height and weight, those two variables are continuous and we can keep it as scale itself. So this much, at least this much we should know, we should do before doing a analysis. And the main thing, one more thing we have to bothered about is, if we have some coding or recoding, if we have some code in this data, like if as I mentioned earlier, if we are coding male as 1 and female as 2, then we should specify here here in values, like what is 1 and what is 2. So we can label, where we can put here like here we can labeling like what value 1 means and what value 2 means. So for that, I want to recall, we can, as I do filtering in Excel, here also we can transform the data, or here we can also do the coding or recoding in data. How do we do that is, you can go to transform, the option transform. Here we can have two options. Either we can do coding in the same cell, same column, or we can create a new variable for coding. So if I do coding in the same column, if I want to change that male into male as 1 and female as 2 here itself, what way I can do is, I can go to transform and put the option recode into same variable. And which variable I want to recode, which is gender, and I can select gender here, and I need to write here as what I want to recode, what is there in the data which I need to write here. I am male, my first variable name is male, so I wrote here as male, and I want to convert this male as 1, and next is female, and here I put it as 2, and I add continue. Okay. This is the output window of SPSS. And here we can see this gender came as 1 and 2. And I already given male as 1 and female as 2. Maybe later I may forget what is 1 and what is 2. So this, if I give some labeling for these values, it may help me to identify that variable properly later. So 1, I label it as male, and 2, I label it as female. Okay. Then that in the data set, it will be still 1 and 2. And if you want to see whether my recording is correct or not, I can put here the options like value labels. Then we can see that 1 is male and 2 is female. So like that, we can do the coding and recoding into SPSS. And how do we do some descriptive analysis in SPSS? That is what I'm going to show now. For that, if we want to, what are type of variables we have? We have continuous variable, we have nominal variable, we have ordinal variable. Here also we have continuous variable. Okay, so here we are for categorical variable, we can put, we can do analysis like frequency and percentages. And for continuous variable, we can find some mean and standard deviation also. So how do we do analysis for all this data is, for analyze descriptive statistics, frequencies. So which all variables we want to find the frequency and percentages, we need to select here. For gender and education, I need the frequencies and percentages. If we want to know any kind of, if we want to analyze the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, range, all this analysis we can do here. For continuous variables also, we can do the frequencies and all. So usually for categorical variables only, we are selecting for frequencies. So here we had choose the sex and education and display frequency table. Okay. Then we will get the results like this. How many are males and how many are females? What is the exact percentage of this frequency? Here also college and above, illiterate, primary, secondary. So it all came as the results. We got the final results. So this is how we do the analysis for a qualitative variable. This is how we do the frequencies and percentages. And for quantitative variables, we can do like this. We can select the quantitative variables. And if we want to know the mean and standard deviation, we can select it here. We can tick that options here and put continue and put OK. Then the output can show the minimum total number, what is the minimum, what is the maximum, what is the mean, and what is the standard deviation. This is what I already informed in my last session, that don't worry about the for professionals. So what I'm saying, for professionals, no need to worry about the formulas. This all will get in a single click while we do the analysis in SPSS. So this is how we do this frequency tables, and if we want to know the measures of center tendency and dispersion measures, we can do analysis in SPSS. For the I will discuss this later on the further tests. For in today onwards, we are taking sessions like this. We will theoretically explain the concepts and we'll have the practical sessions with the help of SPSS also. So if anyone didn't get much idea about these things, don't worry about that. To next class onwards, we are continuing to do the analysis with the SPSS. So this much for SPSS today, and for how to take draw tables and graphs in Excel, that we can discuss tomorrow. So as we have limited time, I thought it's already 9 no, so I am not doing Excel and tables and graphs in Excel. Will wait for the next session. Any queries?
When we do the sorting of the data in the Excel, all the other parameters will also change in that.
Sir, actually, I didn't heard anything. Some issue, I think.
When we sort out the data in Excel,
Okay.
then one column, that one and two, if you are sorting out the data is one together, all the parameters for that particular action will be sorted along with that.
Actually, sir, I didn't clearly hear that what you are asking, sir. Actually, sir, you were asking for the sort and filter in Excel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. While doing the sort and filter, actually, I didn't get what is the doubt actually.
Showing that that part again.
Yeah, sure. I will show that. Just a minute. Yes, here. If we want to sort out the data, we need to select that particular cell. And here we have the option sort and filter. And for that filter, we can choose And this drop down box, we can see what all categories are there in that particular cell. What are the responses? We may have different type of respondents. So what all responses are there in that cell, we can find it out. And if we want to do some coding or recording here itself, we can do that. Suppose if we want to convert male as 1, we can select male and put 1 and double click there. Then rest of all males will come as 1. And if we select female, and if we want to code it as 2, then all will come as 2. Like this, we can filter the data.
If one of the column is blank, what will happen?
One of the column is blank, it will come as blank only. We can find it out, because suppose if it is blank, see, one column is blank.
Okay.
See. So here we can find out that cell number also, which column is blank.
Okay.
Yeah. So that we can find the missing values, and we yesterday Radhika already mentioned, no, we can enter some outlier values there. Anything else? As all are doing the data entry and analysis, no? So it's clear for everyone. There is no doubt.
From our point of view, what is more important is how to enter proper data in the Excel sheet.
Yeah, but even they are knowing to not to enter the data. As I'm doing the data analysis now, so these data entries are really made most of the time surprises us. Like may not be proper, many of the data sets what we are getting. So please keep these points on mind that how do we do the data entry properly. Any doubts or any concerns, anything else?
If nothing to clarify, we will end up the session today and we will meet at 8 p.m. on Monday. Tomorrow is, there is no class tomorrow. No?
Yeah.
We'll meet on Monday at 8 p.m. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Bye.